Hello, and you're watching Bhutan This Week, our weekly news magazine program with me, Kilyangdon. Our top stories. His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Gelson, along with His Royal Highness the Gese, visited Dunkar in Hinsi, the ancestral home of the Wangchuck dynasty. The National Council says the Department of Immigration should not accept student identity cards and health cards as travel document used by children of foreign workers. And the Damchuka bypass is linked finally. His Majesty the King and Her Majesty the Gelson arrived in Dunkar, the ancestral home of the Wangchuck dynasty, on the immensely auspicious occasion of the birth anniversary of Guru Rinpoche with His Royal Highness the Gese. Numerous auspicious tende imparted supreme significance to the occasion of His Royal Highness's first visit to Dunkar.
His Royal Highness Gese Jiminamge Wangchuck was received with a grand chipdal ceremony to the Naktsang, said to have been built by Jiminamgil. Their Majesties and His Royal Highness offered prayers at the Gurul Hagang in the Naktsang, which houses important nates of Guru Rinpoche and Pema Lingpa. On the auspicious occasion, His Majesty personally entered His Royal Highness's name in an ancient document that bears the names of all the ancestors of the Wangchuck dynasty, tracing back to Pema Lingpa. Among the relics, a ceremonial hat that belonged to Jiminamgil, which had remained with the descendants in the village, was offered to His Majesty. The people of Dunkar, gathered at the courtyard of the Naktsang to meet their prince, welcomed their Majesties with Tsokchang offering. Sacred chants of Dunkar were performed to mark the special occasion. His Majesty introduced His Royal Highness to the people and granted Tokha. Their Majesties also visited the Dunkar Choje Naktsang, where the ancestors of Jiminamgil lived in the past. The Ilhuntsel Lamnete described the royal visit as a prophetic moment of the coming together of the past and present. Lamnete said, His Royal Highness the Gese was born in the year when the birth year of Guru Rinpoche coincides with the 400th anniversary of Shabdung's arrival to Bhutan. He added that His Royal Highness has graced the ancestral soil of Dunkar for the first time on the most holiest of days, the 10th day of the monkey year, on which Guru Rinpoche was born in the year of fire-male monkey, which comes but once in a Rabjung.
The Legislative Committee of National Council presented a recommendation to provide incentives to Bhutanese employers whose workers are all Bhutanese. The committee aims to reduce the number of foreign workers in the country. They were discussing on the foreign workers and illegal immigration.
Some of the parliamentarians who supported the idea said such policy will also help give jobs to unemployed youth.
hababsugi tet labe ministu ngachi dugya khapki midusu chokop te theri bar yasi seshunila te chubdalu te namseme khonlo te gochudal namsun la khayila te ngachi jungi khatulo khonlo japchoji ma bawachin te khon la khataung seshuni ani bidlo tindebe te tilo japcho phukop te namsun khache te khachimo swachin tari ngache na chokonalu chiminna jogi timdigi lojidi namseme shube thengomidra ngachre dugya khamnagi midusu chodomi tokemato lana bemato ble tindebe te sundidi te bombra nangobi khungti dinsla shunibela ngachir기 dogya khapki migira te chodobi jinna toke thomachin deringa che chimina jogi timdelo namseme sunre nagomen
dizumegi jungwang chonde iruda gerwang chonde iruda tisu shitsukdalo MOU se kon genjachi keniyula chongchamida jungi bana ani genjada TD기be te ngachigi dubi misilu kokap kadebe chinina train the trainer se jonda kadebe chindigi longada chutamgi nankulu 고팁 뜻은 같이 두비 미슬로 가데베케니 이나게 차지 여가메가 같이 날레기 고가 마지마 베시나로베 다 콩라기 담투베더라 콩기 세지디수 콩라기 말로 마 자가기 미 마기 조리 고펜슬로 조투베기 다 세지디수 안베 수디기베 다네베 주주기 베다수 아니 라요기 로미 레귤나로 미 가딤지라 타한디 베스지로 디기 다 같이기 시큐존이디 다 가라 겐쿠디로 라요 행칼로 이메세 주닐라 미 가딤지 바 차주 줍니나 라요 행칼로 와시 도지 주닐라 다또 나히 같이 시주 차지 베데야 튜 bomshira ngache lael hengagi khatule tatok dindi mazebale tendi gibe tato lokme legilnalu chimi machi wachi yumidi nyodin deletin tun ise shune.
National Council member Tharchin also said foreign workers occupy most of the positions at hydropower projects, which Bhutanese can also take up. The final recommendations will be presented to the government. Damchuka, PBS News.
The Department of Immigration should not accept student identity cards and health cards as travel document. Council members said children of foreign workers without work permit use these cards to travel in the country. The members said this is to set a ceiling on the number of foreign workers and also to reduce the number of illegal immigrants. Today, there are approximately 70,000 foreign workers in the country.
Members of the National Council emphasized that the student identity cards and health cards is to be used only in schools and not as a travel permit.
The aludusugi di lokporche yadama dodil be padasu de gekap nankilo dodil boda di kongi ngote lakirda the lamdil ge choktom zumbe chudi yumi de soete de yeluchi de di atsisi the nenka chembe ngachi ge debe jei de disoete mapa dale phata de tekardu disu de lenka lekhung de nachobigi lenka da lekhung sule de nawa namigi choktom disu yena mato disum de health card ani soegi the lakherlo delen lopthupki ngote lakherlo disut ben the lamdil ki choktham sumchibe the ngelen chada pudra benim myo.
Some councillors also highlighted cases where foreign workers managed to get health cards even before the child is born. This, they said, is illegal and a form of corruption. The Legislative Committee will further discuss on the issue. Damchuka, PBS News.
Meanwhile, the House also deliberated on the need for additional manpower, improved infrastructure, and other facilities at the immigration offices across the country. They say despite clear laws in place, the immigration officials are not able to implement it strictly.
Council members said lack of adequate infrastructure and other facilities is hampering the delivery of services to the foreign workers and combat the problem of illegal immigrants.
ngajara immigration gi midi lambe zone di ji khonlo thunkim jinegi ni yeksa shitu benegi sum tele sago na pha gekson dichonalo gekson dichol lejumbe dane benegi ji andusu ka ra ngajara gi jungen hatole dina lekhon del henka khagi jemegi lerim zumbe jani me mashina chorim chibe te telo japchur begopdi ngaja chodegi chotung hatole phydedu ngacha chachapge telo japchur riben be
bawachin leshumi lakigop dochu bawachin khonu thingku disay matu tubera phigobe se shunila ta chechi shudochu bawachin ta tema pencilin lu ta kage zisai ta ngachiragi ta chimi nangchigi lekhungi ta isangji chungkuchiri ime se shunila dia ta to chohachabi ka ime se shuni
mingomde su chashi kapdlo ta khachana sokhonale ni jeshude te deoyebegi yisanale te khonlo gekhablu te kachlo tatamse tyonde chashi kapdlo te yalamalu ka mado te redenin tyondalo khon chashudolo tammi dese te anidi ngaritaro tilo namseme te tamadu bomrajiome ani belo tyonde khonragi isadi로 ranchongki chude chibe zodaba진 te onse khonalo do tina te khonragi chashunelo te tamse tapdo jonime.
Some also suggested making Immigration Department an autonomous agency. Snomtring, PBS News.
The National Council's Economic Affairs Committee recommended the need to frame a law relating to Bhutanese owing undisclosed income and assets abroad. According to the committee members, the 1993's regulations related to the possession of assets and properties outside Bhutan by Bhutanese citizens is not followed.
As per the regulations, Bhutanese citizens should seek permission of the Royal Monetary Authority to open bank accounts abroad and to invest in foreign securities. Bhutanese citizens and companies also have to seek permission of the Finance Ministry to invest in immovable properties outside Bhutan. The committee members said there are evidences that Bhutanese businesses and citizens operate accounts and own assets abroad, but the authorities have not been informed.
namlo ningtong dulu nalpanga chi phichong gat export ga deji benu ga sawajin te tiru saya tonta jida dunjang apchunga ni gi chi benula tenga chara lok influence te tiru dinana digam chonu sawajin saya tonta ni da dujang apchu te khebadi saya tonta ni da chikja hlapchi ngache ge khamna lo tiru mongbe sunila ta ani tiru di te ngache gi hole bochin te chui ge khamna lo tiru macha shi chube de ge be shasha bunga 침배 되게 온가 산 되게 배샤셔 본가 다 총달 탑네 그들로 땡아라 대한 뱅 약간 치디게 배 들어 봐 무엇에노이다.
The Council endorsed the recommendation, which will be forwarded to the National Assembly in the next Parliament session. Phup Game for BBS News.
Finance Ministry declined the National Council's recommendation to increase the personal income tax for individuals whose yearly income exceeds 1 million nutrim. Finance Minister Namgyal Dorji justified the move could hamper private sector development.
Pemagatsa's NC member Jigmerinjan said increasing the PIT for individuals earning over 1 million nutrim yearly would help cover the lost revenue. Following the recent increase in tax-free slab from 100,000 nutrim to 200,000 nutrim, the government's revenue from personal income tax will decrease by over 4 billion nutrim in the next financial year.
PAT기 다 디수 토체다 마세다 야다마 껴달루 붐치레 니루 깨니 마도 비스나레 야 따기 디수기야 다 테데 야생니기 가기 되나라 여법 제메수니 가데베모 소진 펜나 붐 이친신디 양체베 잘라 붐니레 붐 니다 동랑갑주 되네 제제 주담께 델레 디구 제제 쟁하게 델레 캐지게 델레 테탑 루메기 옹법 사회 지수순배들로 캐칭하게 사회 찔레 야예버진 같이 제제디 숨줄로 깨다버진 여법 제메수니라
때다 야레기데다 또미 장가첩지다 니자 갭주되지메 다 아님지루 같이 라바바나 쭈베 찌단다버진 때 같이 미율디 마바 세지디마 뉴타 소고베 인루 수주 오마디 때냠초디 야텐 델레 중기 카톨레 때다리 게데 공페 땅고비딜로 때 야라베와진 때 디기 같이 마홍번을 찌땅날로 때 디기 펜 메토가 아세 당바 이버수돌로 벨적이 날았다 마두디 다도 야 로메강이 두신 아니 베다마진 때 같이 딜로 남섬에 토치 포니메세 펜발레 뉴바 마니메세 사야 십주기 전에 때 같이 미니정업 주디고 야 자샤 숨주 야게다버진 때 돔다지 디기 남서 셈슈디고 토보니메 세리기 투기 차게 여블레 딘디기베 때 같이 슝기 되셔마 비유세 슈니라.
This year, the government collected over 16 billion nutrim as personal income tax. Kipchu, PBS News.
The National Assembly passed the Revised Taxes and Levies Bill 2016 as a money bill. The House raised the tax-free personal income tax slab from 100,000 to 200,000 nutrim, and education expenses to 150,000 nutrim per child per annum. The revision also waived off the 10% customs duty on import of medical supplies and equipment. 25% tax on import of foreign published books was also waived off. The House also revised the royalties and mineral rent.
Now we will be paying taxes only on those amount which is above 2 lakhs. This is one, and second is on the imports of goods mainly related to hospitals. That is also being exempted. Third is on the books. All these sales tax and customs duty has been completely waived off. The mineral and the mining, it has been quite some time that the government has not really revised. Now they have looking into the international best practices put in place. They have come up with the ad valorem system, where they need to look into the export floor price, and depending on that, certain percentage is being charged as the royalty, and on the royalty, the 10% is being charged as the mineral rent.
The Damchuka bypass is finally linked. In what is considered a major breakthrough, Project Dunkar officially cut through the most difficult part along the stretch.
The hard rock cliffs near Chuka were what stood in between the two ends of the bypass. Project officials said the cliff, apart from consuming time, also posed high risks to the workers. With the link, people can now walk across the rocky cliff.
They are working under very hazardous conditions, because if you see, the rocks are so loose and the height of cut is so much, and the rocks are mainly fractured. So these people are working under the threat of the stone falling down any time and injuring them.
When it rains, there are landslides and rock falls, so we have to clear those. It is also risky to drill through the high cliffs because it becomes slippery.
Since the site was not accessible directly, we had to take the longer route. Also, instead of blasting twice a day, we do thrice till 5 p.m. A single blast can only break over 2 feet of the rock.
5 बजे तक हम लोग 3 बार ब्रस्टिंग कर रहे हैं.
The chief engineer of Project Dantak, PKG Mishra, said, although the bypass is supposed to officially open to traffic by December next year, works are expected to complete 6 months before the deadline.
The criticality lies, of course, in addition to what we are working, are the two bridges, one 75-meter and another 145-meter bridges, which are under construction. That is through a contractor, but he also has promised to deliver it by next June. And in all probabilities, by the grace of God, we should be able to give this most important road to the people of Bhutan who really deserve it for quite some time, should I say now.
The Damchuka double-lane road construction began in March 2010. Until now, of the 29.2 kilometer stretch, 23 kilometers are complete. The project is worth over 2 billion yutam. Pasa, BBS News.
The recent monsoon caused havoc with roadblocks within the Phuntsling-Tromde area, causing inconvenience to the residents. Roads were covered with debris from the landslides triggered by the rain.
Usually, residents of Phuntsling town welcome monsoon as it brings the much-needed respite from the scorching heat. But this year, the monsoon is causing inconvenience to them. Recently, these vehicles are found stuck in a mudslide following a torrential downpour. Roads at 3 different locations were covered with landslide.
The main problem is at People Downer and Carburetor and at this junction. If you can see now, it has been about a week. We don't know whose responsibility it is to clear the block. We are hopeful that Trom would take up the work. We are not sure how these landslides are occurring. Maybe it is because of the road construction. We didn't have such problems in the past.
People who work in Pasaka are facing difficulty while going to the office. They have to leave their vehicles here. Even people traveling in the bus are going through the same problem. Whenever it rains during the night, we face similar problems.
Meanwhile, the contractor who has been awarded the work to blacktop the road said he is worried of the incurring loss. He said the monsoon might also compromise the quality of his works.
It is very difficult with the continuous rain. I'm going through huge loss and government is also not getting the quality works. It is really difficult to work during such season.
The maintenance and widening work of the road above Carburetor and People Dara is said to be causing the trouble. From the officials said they are trying to clear the debris, but the rainfall is hampering the works.
It is true what people are saying. We are aware of the problems. The problem is due to the new road construction works. Since there is no proper drainage system, there is problem when it rains. But we have plans to construct drainage system to solve the problem in the future. Right now, we do not have the budget.
With no immediate solution forthcoming, residents of Phuntsling are likely to undergo the same problem until the monsoon ends. Compiled for Kingatashi in Phuntsling, Sangishazam for BBS News.
The traditional Bhutanese dappa and popes are overpriced due to lengthy raw material collection process. This was the finding of the research conducted by Kyoto Prefectural University in Japan. Using imported lacquer is adding to the cost.
Today, the traditional wooden wares like dappa and pop are mostly produced in Tashianse, but raw materials are collected from places as far as Wandi, Chuka and Ha districts. The traditional wares are therefore priced over 1,000 yutam in the market, making it unpopular among the commoners.
People don't buy Bhutanese wooden wares much because they opt for imported melamine products which are much cheaper.
Dappas and pops are Bhutanese products, and we should be using them in fact. But as they are too expensive, we cannot afford them.
Although there are many lacquer trees in Bhutan, local shazups do not make use of it, according to the researchers. Imported lacquers are used to polish the finished wooden products. The method of traditional lacquer extraction, therefore, is also disappearing in the country.
People in Tashian, they found Japanese lacquer. Japanese lacquer means originally from China and refined in Japanese factories, put in a tube like toothpaste. But more expensive. You have plenty of seshin trees everywhere in Bhutan. So please search lacquer trees, natural lacquer trees, and start collect the sap from that, and think about use of Bhutanese domestic lacquer tree.
Using locally available lacquer is one way to self-regulate the prices of wooden products, as per the research. But since the process is laborious, local shazup's preference over the imported lacquer is unlikely to change anytime soon. Kipchu, BVS News.
That is all we have for you this week. Join us again same time next week. Until then, from me and my team here in Thimphu, it's goodbye.